Direct from the Six, world-renowned, Canada's largest city, with Canada's biggest thinkers, visionaries, and hustlers. This is Startup Talk, featuring the founders, funders, innovators, and community leaders who've led Canada's startup ecosystem right here in Toronto. You'll hear the challenges, the failures, the successes. Toronto's Startup Podcast gives you the full story direct from the entrepreneurs and influencers who've made a difference. Now, the host of Startup Talk, the founder of TorontoStarts, the Startup Coach.
Startup life can be intense. How do you personally stay motivated and avoid burnout?
Yeah, so I'm that doctor telling you again, don't do what I do because I think that, burnout is a very real issue. It's a reality for a lot of entrepreneurs. I think what happens is you feel so passionately about your vision that you're willing to give everything for it. I think it comes back to sort of understanding why you were doing it to begin with, asking yourself, like, what do I want? Someone actually phrased it for me the other day and it really resonated. They said, what would you want out of this venture or this business that you're doing? Like, what was your want? And sometimes what happens is we think, I need this because it'll give me a return of X. I need this because for some reason, I just need to know that I've left a legacy. All these things that we say we need. But what do you want out of that? And I think that question really helped me rephrase it. And if I think about all the businesses that and it's a long-winded way to get to this burnout question, but if I think about is what I want out of all these businesses or what they've done for me is I believe all of these businesses have helped me understand what connection means, building real connection, trust, and respect. And if I want that for myself, then I realize that I won't be on that hamster wheel, right? I'll sort of say, okay, listen, if it's about connection, then I really want to have a great conversation with Craig today. We're going to have let's just sit there, and Lauft has given me this opportunity, right? So all of a sudden now I can log off at the end of the day and I know that Lauft was really productive for me today. And I think it's that why, it's that want. And if I understand that, that has helped me to avoid the feeling of burnout where it's just about the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. You win a government contract and you're like, okay, well, what are we going to change this into? What is it going to do? When really, at the end of the day, the government contract is another contract, great opportunity, but it also has brought some really great people into my life, right? And I've said, okay, like, this is worth it. This is good. So that's a philosophical answer. You
have to know what drives you and what keeps you fresh, right? If it's connection and relationships and value in the network, great. If it's downtime and unplugging, then great. You have to just make sure you know what's right for you. And
you got to know. Yeah.
Yes.
Everything is a leap or a lesson. This is a phrase that someone had said to me, someone close, and it really resonated because, even in the challenges, right? Or you're going to learn something, right? Even if it isn't a leap forward, but it's something where you feel like, oh, I'm sitting in the pain. It's going to be a lesson. And then you'll have your leaps. And these will be the things that feel great. And all of a sudden you'll say, wow, we won the government contract. Like, this will move the needle. That's amazing. But everything has value, right? Don't squander it.
Where can our listeners learn more about you and Lauft?
So our website for sure. So you can find the closest Lauft. And I think that's the best way. Go into the closest Lauft. We have, 7 locations, 2 downtown where one is an event space and one is a Lauft. Go in and talk to our team. They're amazing and very welcoming, and you get to see it and feel it. Or go to our website, www.lauft.work.
And Lauft is LAUFT.
Correct.
And for those listening, and those links will be in the show notes if you're listening on the podcast. I really appreciate you taking the time today, Graham, and to talk to our listeners and to share some of your words of wisdom.
Thank you so much for having me. And I truly appreciate the opportunity to connect.
This has been Startup Talk, Toronto's startup podcast. For more exclusive content, the episode vault, and to be part of TorontoStarts community, visit TorontoStarts.com. Get your name on the newsletter mailing list and check out our upcoming events. For more episodes, subscribe now. And please recognize the time and work behind the scenes put into connecting you with the biggest visionaries, entrepreneurs, and innovators in Toronto by leaving a 5-star review. Join us for more next episode from Toronto's most active entrepreneur and startup community on Startup Talk.